Om Amuloy Sarvatrikavarti Aryantanam. Om Amuloy Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Amuloy Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Amuloy Sarvatrikavarti Ojanam. Om Amuloy Sarvatrikavarti Shavanam. Om Karam Bindu Sanyuktam Nityan Dhyayanti Yoginam Kamadam Mokshadam Cheva Om Karaya Namo Namah. Namo Samay Saraya Swanu Bhutya Chakasate Chit Sabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanati Mirandanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guru Nama Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kananam Aho Te Bhagavati Matanam Dhruva Achalane Anupama Gati Pamele Sarve Siddhane Vandi Kaho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Om Eka Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darshanamaya Kare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nati Are Jamnetrate Majjnana Nati Karaka Nati Vedaka Are Jane Jakarmodaya Nirajara Bandate Majamokshane Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Shri Suddhatmane Namah. Jai Jirendra. Today is August 23, Tuesday 2016, and we are continuing our discussion on basic Jainism. In the last time we were on this slide, and we were talking about how many types of time substances are there. What we taught that there are 6 universal substances, and we already talked about soul substance, matter substance, medium of motion, medium of rest, and space substance. And this is the last substance that we have it, that is called time substance, Kal Dravya. We talked quite a few things in the last class, so we'll continue to go further. That how many different types of time substances are there, and it says that there are 2 types: absolute types and conventional type, Nishchay Kal and Vyavahar Kal. Remember, to understand the Jain philosophy, it is on the basis of Jain philosophy is to understand absolute and conventional form. Absolute point of view and conventional point of view. Jain philosophy is basically only the philosophy which believes in multiplicity point of view. Again, in our own Jain brotherhood also, the concept of concept of multiplicity point of view is misunderstood, unfortunately. What it means, people will believe that, okay, I believe in Anekantvad because I just listen to this one also, listen to that also, listen to this also, different people, and I believe in Anekantvad, so I go everywhere. Acharya Bhagwan says that's not the true definition of Anekantvad. Anekantvad definition, if one wants to understand, 1 second, okay, hold it. Frozen here somehow. What happened to me here? 1 second. Things are frozen somehow, doesn't want to work for me.
Computer?
Okay, hold it, I think. Clear all drawings, okay. Clear all my clear all my drawings. Okay, I'm sorry. So, so what's a true definition of multiplicity point of view? Remember, this has to be absolutely clear in our mind, because if we are going to be this on the path of spirituality and Jain spirituality, and the Jain spirituality goes in extreme detail, and to some beginner or some novice guy, he will say, this is too much for me and I have no part of it. But the Acharya Bhagavan has given detail so that nobody can ever have question which is not answered. Every question has been answered related to spirituality. So multiplicity point of view, anekantvad. While we are talking anekantvad, there was one time somebody came out and said, listen, I have elevator speech for Jainism. You're in the elevator, somebody says, oh, you are Jain, what is this Jainism? And within that narrow window of maybe 30 seconds or 1 hour or one minute or whatever you have it on the elevator, you got to tell what is Jainism. And Jainism is of 3 important pillars: ahimsa, aparigraha, and anekantvad. Non-violence, non-possession, and multiplicity point of view. If you just say that these are the 3 main principles of Jainism, you are basically conveying the message. Now, if somebody wants to know more, then it's a different story. But these are the things. So, multiplicity point of view is one of the one of the 3 pillars of basic Jainism. So, definition of multiplicity point of view. Definition is given in Samaisar in a Parishist after 415 stanza that Acharya Kunkun they wrote down. Then Amrit Chandracharya wrote down 278 kind of critics sloks on that one. And after that, Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev, 1,000 years back, he realized that people can get confused. So let me just throw one extra chapter. And so he throws this chapter of multiplicity point of view. What's the definition of multiplicity point of view? A given substance is having 2 exactly opposite things residing within without interfering with each other is called multiplicity point of view. A given substance having 2 opposite properties residing without conflicting with each other is called multiplicity point of view. For example, soul is permanent and soul is transitory in nature. Soul is permanent and soul is transitory. They both are exactly opposite to each other. Soul is permanent from substance perspective, because substance was never created, will never be destroyed. So substance is there forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. So soul is permanent from substance perspective, and soul is transient from modal perspective, because mode, paryay, is of one samay only. So we have a permanency with transitoriness residing within, and that is called anekantvad. There is another one called ek and anek. One and many. How can you have one and many residing within one given substance? Well, if you look from the substance perspective, then substance is only one in number. Soul is a soul is a soul. I'm the soul, period, case closed. So I'm number one, only one in one undivided entity. But within me, there are infinite attributes residing. So from attribute perspective, I have infinite things within me. Soul's perspective, I have only one unit within me. So one and many can reside together. Transitoriness and permanency can reside together. So those are the things that we have to understand. That's called multiplicity point of view. So this absolute time and conventional time means absolute perspective and conventional perspective. Nishchay, Nishchay Samay and Vyavahar Samay. And so we'll be going through both of those things as it is coming up next. Okay. Let me take this thing out here. Okay, so absolute time, Nishchay Kal. What is absolute time? How do we define absolute time? Remember, in the universe, there are innumerable space points. When we are talking about a space, Akash, we have gone through that slide. What it said, that there are innumerable space point of the cosmic space is present. If you take the whole cosmic space, remember that whole cosmic space includes all the Earth and all the 9 planets and sun system and all their moons and everything. Plus, lower down there are 7 hells are there. On the top there are 16 heavens are there, and on the top of that there is a Adobe of Siddha is there. And if we look into the sky, in the moonless sky, and we see the glow, big glow into the sky, that is called Milky Way. And those Milky Way and stars and everything, they're part of the cosmic space. So if I take one cube, where is my cube here? Okay, this one cube, I take it and divide into 2 and further into 2 and further into 2 and further, and I come back to a point in which I cannot make 2 division of that cube. And that last teeny tiniest part is called one space point. And those types of space points are innumerable in the cosmic space. On each cosmic space, each space unit in a cosmic space, there is a time substance sitting there, just like a diamond. Just like a diamond. Means I have a one space over here, and this, the time unit is sitting there. Another space, another time unit is sitting there. Third space, third time unit is sitting. So like that, whole cosmic space is full of time units occupying one space unit. So time substance occupying one cosmic space unit is known as absolute time. Simply, it is sitting there. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. Sitting there, stationary forever and permanent forever. Stationary and permanent, sitting there forever, and this time unit is invisible. It says no form, no nothing, not visible, nothing. See, yeah. Question? No, okay. Okay. So that is called Kalanu, or it is called absolute time. Remember, for example, in this room there is an air, and I can't see the air. So same way, Kalanu is there, time unit is there, sitting on each and every space point of the cosmic space, just like the diamond studied a whole cosmic space, and that is called Kalanu, or it's called absolute time. Okay. Having said that, let's see. Vartana, now this absolute times unit, absolute time substance, that means each space point of the cosmic space occupied by this time substance. What's his job? What does it do? What is the specific work that it's supposed to do? Listen, this cube, it has a white and black color is there. I can feel it. It's very hard. It's plastic, and it has a touch, taste, smell, color, etc., etc. So that's why it's matter. I am the conscious element. I have a capacity to know myself. I have capacity to know others, and because I have consciousness element within me, that's why I'm called soul. Same way, what is this absolute time doing? What's the function of the absolute time? So, Vartana is the characteristics of absolute time. Vartana. What is Vartana? We'll be coming to that. Potpotana paryayani उत्पत्तिमा स्वयं में प्रवर्तमान जीवादि द्रव्यों ने निमित्त रूपे प्रेरणा करविते. Very long sentence and very complicated appearing sentence, but we'll dissect it and we'll find it out what it means. पोतपोताना पर्यायनी उत्पत्तिमा स्वयमेव प्रवर्तमान जीवादि द्रव्य means soul, matter, medium of motion, medium of breath, and space. These 5 substances of the universe. We'll take all 6, but right now we are just saying we're concentrating on this 5. Then we'll be entering the about time substance later on. But so the soul, matter, medium of motion, medium of breath, and space. 5 substances of the universe. They have their own modification individually, independently. I think somebody's place, there is a noise coming. If you don't mind, I'll just put Sanjay, I'm putting mute, okay? Okay. So what happens? Soul has its own modification. For example, soul keeps on knowing every moment. Matter has its own modification. Matter has a touch, taste, smell, color, etc. Those are the attributes making modifications. Medium of motion, medium of rest, and space, they have their own modifications going on. And when those modifications are going on in all the substances of the universe, then the time substance acts as an instrumental cause in that modification. Once again, all the universal substances keep on modifying themselves continuously all the time. Forever, ever, and ever. And at that time, soul, matter, medium of motion, medium of rest, etc., all the universal substances, when they are modifying themselves, at that time, the time substance acts as an instrumental cause. Just like the fish wants to swim and water becomes instrumental cause. Man wants to take rest and tree provides shade, so that shade of the tree becomes an instrumental cause for the man to take rest. Shade has not done anything. Shade was there since morning till evening. It didn't become instrumental cause for anybody. But when the guy who was walking, he's tired, he wants to rest, and at that time shade became the instrumental cause. Similarly, any substance is modifying by themselves, then time units acts as an instrumental cause. So time units presence is very important, but does not interfere in the working of any of that substance. It should be clear in our mind okay, what this vartana means. Vartana means so time substance is acting as an instrumental cause for any substance when they're modifying themselves. Every substance doing their own job. Soul did the job of knowing, the matter did the space, touch, taste, smell, color, etc. Medium of motion did its own act, medium of rest did its own act, space did its own act, and time substance also does its own act of acting as an instrumental cause for any substance modifying by themselves. દરેક દ્રવ્યની પોતાની પર્યાયની અંદર કાળ દ્રવ્ય નિમિત્ત તરીકે હાજરી આપે છે. That is only the job. Right? If that is clear, then we can go to the next one. Next one says, in each of the innumerable space points, there are presence of fixed time substances. As we said, one space point, second space point, third, fourth, fifth, innumerable space point, and each and every innumerable space point, the time substance is sitting like in diamond studded area. So it's sitting like that. So in each innumerable space point of the cosmic space, time substance is sitting. Then this kalanu or this time substance is an absolute time, nishay kal. Why did this kalanu? Kal, anu. Kal means time and anu means the smallest portion, because it is occupying only one space point and there is nothing smaller than one space point. That's why it's kal, anu. Anu means the smallest. Kal means the time. So smallest area occupied by the time substance, that's called kalanu, and that's called absolute time, because it is occupying each and every space point of the innumerable space points of the universe, cosmic space. So what is happening now? Now that we know the absolute time, let's say conventional time. What is conventional time? Conventional time is, hang on to your seats because it's very important to understand. If we understand this definition, it is really, really a great thing. The time substance is having samay. Time substance, the lowest part is called samay. Then it's called pal, that's called measure of 24 seconds. Then it's called gadi, measure of 24 minutes. Then it's called day, then it's called week, then it's called month, years, etc. etc. Modifications are known as conventional time or vyavahar kal. The smallest unit of the time substance is called samay. And remember, several times we have said that in the blink of an eye, innumerable space point pass by, and that comes equivalent to 10 raised to 49 and beyond. 10 raised to 49 and beyond samay pass by in a blink of an eye. What does it mean? How can you define this time? We just gave the analogy right now. We are just trying to tell that how small, how minuscule that one samay is. But again, we have not defined that one. We're just giving analogy right now. So, number one samay, then one pal means 24 samay, is 24 second. Ghadi means 24 minutes. And muhurt means two ghadi. Then one day, week, month, year, and so on and so forth. And we can go for macro time as far as you want to. We will try to touch that one later on in this slide. Now, the mode of the absolute time is known as conventional time. Mode of the absolute time. Remember previously what we said? Every space point of the universe, there is one time substance sitting. That's my absolute time. That's a substance. Substance is forever. Was never created, will never be destroyed, will never do anything. So it's stationary, permanent, non-reactive. But there is also modification occurring within that. See, I'm talking two different things right now. I'm saying substance is there, permanent, non-reactive, and then on the next sentence I just say there are changes in the substance. Why I'm talking that different language? Because let's say this is the soul, I'm the soul, and now I enter into the soul. I enter into the soul. In the world of soul, I entered. Now I'm analyzing what is this soul made up of. Then it says soul is made up of substance, attribute, and modes. So if I'm looking soul from substance perspective, it is a permanent, eternal, never changing, fixed, non-reactive from substance perspective. What about the attribute? The permanent, fixed, non-reacting, staying same way forever. Now I come to the section of modes, and mode says, you know what? I am the one doing all this scut work in this soul. I'm the one doing all these things. I'm doing inclusions of attachment, inclusions of aversion. I can also do the innate form and everything. I keep on transforming myself all the time independently. Remember, I entered into the arena of the soul and I found out that one part is a constant, is a soul, attributes are constant, and only changes are occurring in the modifications, modes, paryay. Dravya Suddha, Dravya Trika, Gun Suddha, Gun Trika, paryay, ek samayni, kshanik, parivartanshil. So changes that we see in a soul substance is attributable to the modes. When I see the permanency in the soul substance, then it is attributable to the soul substance. So here the same thing in the time units. Time unit which are sitting on each and every space point of the cosmic space, they are fixed, non-reactive, they are substance, and they are there forever. But they are also within them, there is a modification keeps on occurring, but substance remains constant. I am Kirit. Child, when born, name Kirit. The toddler Kirit, going to KG Kirit, grade school, high school, college, med school, everything is Kirit. Kirit remained constant, but his age kept on changing. The name remained constant and the age kept on changing. So similarly here, time substance is a constant, doesn't do anything, just like Kirit. But the change is occurring within, just like my aging going from 1 year of age to whatever I am right now. Same way, this time substance also has modification occurring within. And those modifications are called samay, pal, ghadi, day, week, month, etc., etc. Here. So, each substance is transforming by self. Remember, we are talking all the 6 universal substances of the universe, that each substance, they have their own capacity to transform by themselves. Each substance has a capacity to transform by themselves because each substance has one important attribute within. Soul has it, matter has it, medium of motion, medium of race, space and time. They all 6 substances has one attribute within, common attribute that is called. And that common attribute is called substancehood. That substancehood attribute is responsible for making modification to every substance forever and ever and ever and ever independently. So that way, soul is transforming, matter is transforming, medium of motion, medium of race, space and time, everybody is transforming by themselves. At that time, at that very moment, conventional time is providing instrumental cause for transformation for all those substances. Soul is transforming by itself. Matter is transforming by itself. At that time, everybody is transforming by themselves because of their own substancehood characteristics, because of their own capacity to transform forever and ever and ever. And time substance becomes an instrumental cause for those transformation of every other substances. So this is the definition that we have to understand for the soul, for the time substance. Now, things which get manifested with transformation of soul and matter is known as conventional time. Over here, hold it, yes. Over here in the first bullet, we are saying each substance is transforming by itself. Over here, we are saying that only matter and soul gets transformed by itself. Why we have those discrepancy between those 2 bullets? Because the 2 acharyas, they wrote down from their own experience. One acharya in the Brihadravya Sangraha in the 21st stanza said, all the substances transformed by themselves. But in Moksha Shastra, means Tattvad Sutra, Umaswati's Tattvad Sutra, chapter 5, stanza, Sutra 22, it says, remember, all the substances, me to understand, the only 2 substances are important for me to understand, soul and matter. This is matter, I'm the soul. I'm the soul, this body is a matter. I'm the soul, this shirt is a matter. So soul and matter, they interact with each other, and that's why in Moksha Shastra or in Tattvad Sutra, it says when soul and matter gets transformed, then conventional time acts as an instrumental cause. So here we have to understand from what language, from what angle Acharya Bhagwan is trying to convey the message to us. If we don't understand those kind of things, then somebody can say, there's a conflict here. 2 different acharyas are doing 2 different things. One says soul and matter transforming. One says every substance of the universe transforming. It's important from what angle we are talking. So for me, us as a human being, important thing for us to know detail about the soul and matter's relationship. Rest of the things, medium of motion, medium of race, space and time, the pure and pure substances, they don't react with anybody else. So if there is less amount of things are even mentioned for those things. So mainly soul and matter in which I have relationship. And so when soul is transforming, when matter is transforming, remember, soul transforms by itself, matter transforms by itself. Let's say I'm carrying a glass in my hand and the glass falls down and glass breaks into multiple pieces. Or better yet, the child has taken the glass from the table and the glass fell down and became pieces. What happens? Mom can get angry. At that time, if we understand what happened, glass was supposed to fall down at that point no matter what. And at that time, the child was supposed to be present as an instrumental cause. Child is a soul. Soul was doing its own job of knowing, and matter, the glass, was doing its own job of falling down because it was supposed to go into the pieces. So those two things happen independently. And at that time, the time substance acted as an instrumental cause. So that's what the point, take home message over here. Now, samay. Now, before we go to samay, remember, oh yes, samay means what? When we say samay means closing the eye, blink of an eye, innumerable time units pass by, innumerable samay pass by. So what is the definition of one samay? So here, and I already know what are the questions going to come. So we will answer those questions also. This is the time substance sitting in one space point. This is time substance sitting in the another space point. Let's take these two time space right now, time units and two space points of the universe. Two space point. An atom particle of the matter moving from one space point of the time unit, one space point having time substance in it, like the diamond, to move to the second space point, adjacent space point of the space point of the universe, having the time substance. And this matter particle moving at the slowest possible speed. The time taken for that matter particle to move from one space point to the adjacent space point with minimal speed, then it's called one samay. Once again, the time substance present as a diamond in, like diamond means, we are just trying to give analogy. It's not diamond, it's just, it is sitting there. Suppose that is, I have a cube in my hand and this cube is sitting on my hand. That's it. So this cube is occupying one space point. So this cube becomes an time substance and the hand becomes one space point. So that kind of two space point, that a matter particle, atomic particle going from one space point to the next space point with minimal speed, slowest speed, and time taken for that movement is called one samay. And yes,
one question.
Yeah.
Why emphasize the word slowest?
Why emphasize on?
Word slowest speed.
Yes, I know. That's why I knew these are the questions going to come in your mind, and I'm going to tackle before they come. But you jumped. You just went ahead. So that's good. Remember, these are the very important definition. One, and we have the reasoning coming. One space point to the adjacent space point, the atomic particle going at the slowest possible speed, and the time spent by this movement is called one samay. And that samay is so microscopic that in blink of an eye, 10 raised to 49 samay pass by. 10 raised to 49 samay pass by. So now you can imagine how small that samay is. Now, your question that why emphasis put on the slowest possible speed? Why not the fastest speed? Remember, atom particle with the fastest speed can go and travel 14 Raju. 14 Raju means whole cosmic space it can travel in one samay. It has that much speed. The fastest speed means 7th hell on the bottom and 16th heaven in the top, and in between our middle world, that atom particle at the fastest speed can travel in one samay and can go up. Fastest speed. Similarly,
is there actually physical speed?
Yes. Now, it's a physical thing, means omniscient Lord has seen and he has described this one to us. Can you and me see this one? Can we have this atom in the lab and do all this experiment? No, because the science atom that we are talking about, that is so huge a conglomerate of so many Jain atomic particles that, for example, science atom has a proton, neutron, nucleus, and all those electron and quarks and all kind of things that science has found it out. Means even one electron has an infinite amount of atomic particle within from Jain perspective. For example, let's take a simple example. Karma particle. Can I see karma particle? Can I see knowledge obscuring karma? Can I see perception obscuring karma? Can I see deluding karma? Can I see obstructing karma? No, you cannot. It's impossible for our intellect to see those karma particles. Yes, we can see the effect of the karma particle. I can say, I'm not able to learn so much. I just have a thought block and everything. And at the time I can say, probably at the same time, I have the fruition of the knowledge obscuring karma. That's why it's happening to me. So those kind of things, the effect of the karma we can see, but we cannot see the physical karma. Similarly, but no, not similar. So this karma particle, any chadmast means any common man, means anybody up to the 12th gunstana cannot visualize that atomic particle or that karma particle. 13th gunstana, when the knowledge becomes omniscience knowledge, and in that omniscience knowledge, Tirthankar Bhagwan, Aryan Bhagwan, and Siddha Bhagwan, beyond that stage, they can visualize those karma particle. Now, this karma particle, they are made up of infinite atomic particle. Remember, one karma particle, I can't see it. And remember, I'm loaded with zillions and zillions and zillions of those karma attached to my soul right now. And I can't see them. And each karma particle has infinite atomic particle within. So now you can imagine how microscopic that atomic particle is. Microscopic is not it's a puny word, a lack of better word, we are using microscopic, but it is extremely minute particle. And that particle has a capacity by itself to go from point A to point B and can travel up to 14 Raja from the bottom of the universe to the top of the universe in one summer it can pass through. Soul also. Soul, when you and me and when in the future, when we get liberated from all this karmic particle, when we are in the 13th Gunsthana and then go to the 14th spiritual development stage, and at that time, removing all the karma particles through me, now when the soul becomes free, totally free, that soul within one samay goes on the top of the universe. That's the speed soul has it, and atomic particles, they have it. It's fastest speed we are talking. So here, the slowest speed, it is going from one space point to other space point, and that's why it is called one samay. So now we know the fastest speed, now we know the slowest speed also. The slowest speed is called one samay. I don't believe all those things. Well, if I don't believe, I don't believe. I want to have proof. Sure, I can have a proof. If I become Siddha Bhagavan, I'll know about all those things. So proof is within me. I'm dying to get this proof that let me become Siddha Bhagavan, I will be able to see. Let me become Aryan Bhagavan, I'll be able to see. So choice is mine. Now, again, somebody may raise question. This is beyond my capacity to understand. Well, 100 years back, how many people knew that a person can fly from point A to point B? Less than 100 years that we know all these things? And how many decades we know that the person can go in the rocket from the Earth to the moon? When we were born 50, 60 years back, was it possible to think about it? No. But it's possible today. So why it's not possible to have this kind of things also? Other argument I'm going to throw at you. We keep on saying, when we don't understand, we just say, omniscient Lord has seen, omniscient Lord has said, and everything. Now, remember, omniscient, let's take Mahavir Swami, omniscient Lord. Mahavir Swami, 2,500 years back, he gave so much principles to us. He told us so many things. Right now, Simandra Swami in the Mahadev Kshetra is there. Kunkun Acharya Dev went there, listened to his discourses, came back to Bharat Kshetra and created all the scriptures. Whatever Mahavir said about anger, deceit, ego, greed, jealousy, and all those things that he told us 2,500 years back. And Mahavir said, I'm the reason for my own problems of jealousy, influence of attachment, influence of aversion, and all those things. I'm responsible for my own things. And we have, in our own life, we have experienced those kind of things. You mean, did Mahavir had any ultimate motive to confuse me and you? If one or two or three things Mahavir said 2,500 years back, and if that appears to be true today, then everything what he said has to be true. Several things in my personal life that I have experienced, and I'm pretty sure, think about your personal life, that you have also experienced the same thing, that Mahavir's message when I'm reading, lots of time I said, my God, did Mahavir wrote down specially for me all those things? 10,000 miles away, 2,500 years back, did he specifically write down for me? Those kind of facts are mind-boggling that we pass through in our life. Those are the facts Mahavir has said. So, if I just raise the issue that I don't believe, I don't have to convince you. But what it is, these are the facts that scriptures are saying. It's not that I created this out of nowhere, or somebody else just said, confuse everybody and throw this kind of monkey wrench. No, these are the facts. You know, as a physician, I can tell you how perfect is a science. In 74, I mean, in 1970, I finished medical school. And till today, definition of cholesterol, what is the normal cholesterol, that definition changed 10 times in 40 years of time. If science is a perfect, then how come 10 times the definition kept on changing? When I was taking my internal medicine board exam, and in the congestive heart failure, if I say give beta blocker, I will fail completely. And today, if I discharge, I mean, so when I was working, today, if a physician discharges a patient from the hospital with congestive heart failure and did not give beta blocker, then he'll be in trouble. Now, 30 years, 25 years time, things have changed totally radically. Could that be called fact? And here, Mahavir telling the same thing. Mahavir told 2,500 years back, 10,000 miles away, and it appears to me that he specifically wrote down for me. And think about your life's experience also. So many subtle things have happened in your life. Those were the things given messages before. And they have they stood the withstand of time all this time. So it has to be truth. So these are the varieties of way we can prove. So basically, samay means time taken by an atomic particle to move from one space point to an adjacent space point in the slowest speed. That's called samay. I know, Sanjay bhai, you're not convinced yet. But you just have to, you know, when we were in the mathematics, we are trying to solve the theorem. And then in the beginning, we'll just say, suppose there was A equal to B. We put the proposition there. And then we dissect the whole theorem. And after whole page going down, finally we said, therefore, A is equal to B. In our daily routine vernacular study also, we do the proposition first, we put proposition, and then we prove, then just say that's a theory. So if I have a question, I don't buy this one, okay, don't buy it. Just keep it in your mind, back of the mind. Because if you don't, if you disagree or agree, you're not going to get Samyak Darshan. This is not the part that you're going to get Samyak Darshan. Samyak Darshan will come only when you just get faith in your own soul substance, and when you have the experiencing of your own soul substance. That's called faith, and that's what I'm supposed to have it. That's what we are working on it. Now, these are the things, they come on the path. So I have to understand, because pretty soon, this summary definition will keep on going from microscopic to macroscopic, and we'll have a questions about it. So let's go to the next one. Any questions so far? Because I know it's very important. This thing, as I told you, that the questions are going to be there in your mind, you know.
I think you explained this earlier also.
Mm-hmm.
So it gels. I understand.
Yeah,
I've got some prior learning from my father, so I can actually correlate how it works.
Yes. Okay. All right. So that's a samay. Then come nimesh. Somebody has named nimesh. What does nimesh means? The time present in a blink of an eye. It involves innumerable samay. That's called nimesh. So anybody having the word nimesh, you can just ask him that, hey, I know the meaning of your name, you know. Then kastha. Kastha. Kastha is 15 nimesh makes one kastha. You know, you don't have to memorize this thing or anything, but time to time, this kind of words will come in the scripture. So you just say, oh, I know this one. So Samay, then next is Nimesh, then called Kastha, then comes Kala. Kala is 30 Kastha makes one Kala. Then comes Gadi. Gadi means 24 minutes makes one Gadi. Muhurt means 2 Gadi makes one Muhurt. And this word Muhurt will be coming time to time. So, we'll stop over here and we'll just define Muhurt a little bit more. Muhurt means 48 minutes. Muhurt is 48 minutes, means when we are doing Samaik, when we take equanimity vow and sit down in a corner, and we just go in meditative posture, or we do the Swadhyay reading, or we do Mala recitation, or whatever we do it, we try to stay away from the worldly affair. And we try to do that for 48 minutes. Why 48 minutes? Why? Why 48 minutes? Because the monk in the 6th and 7th spiritual stage, in the 7th spiritual stage, monk is engrossed in his own eternal self. Then he comes back and he comes to the 6th spiritual development stage. Again, he goes back and gets engrossed within. Then he comes out. Again, he goes and comes out. So whole day he does this movement continuously, in and out, in and out, in and out. When the monk is on the outside his experiencing phase of the soul. At that time, monk says, maybe I'll talk to my student. Maybe I'll write some scriptures. Maybe I'm too much, my stomach is hungry and giving me trouble. My body is not cooperating with me to remain in my spiritual stage. So maybe I'll just throw some food into the body. That kind of thought process occurs in the 6th Gunsthana. But then he goes back within himself. And this process of going in and out, in and out, in and out continuously keeps on going. And each time he goes on staying a little bit longer within, then comes out a little bit more and comes back a little bit more. And a point comes in which non-stop 48 minutes, if he remains in his innate state, if he remains engrossed in his own self, non-stop for 48 minutes. Then from 7th spiritual state, he goes to 8, 9, 10, 12, and then he becomes omniscient Lord. So 48 minutes to stabilize within, Mahavir Swami took 12.5 years of meditative time. Rishabdev took 1,000 years to stay within his natural state for 48 minutes. Malinath Bhagwan, it took only 1 day to stay within himself for 48 minutes. And Bharat Maharaja, it took only 48 minutes to stay within, and then he became Kevali Bhagwan. So this 48 minutes is very important. That's why when we do the Samaik, we try to say, Samaik means I remain in my equanimity state. And that means I'm trying to mimic that if I become a monk, will I be able to stay within my, can I be able to engross myself? And that kind of mimicry, that kind of mimicry we are doing, and that is called Samaik. If you go back to your school days, how many hours of your school class was there? Your class was 45 minutes, remember, right? There was the same principle was there, that your time, attention span for the child does not remain no more than 45 minutes, 48 minutes. So that's called Muhurt. And Ahoratra means 30 Ghadi means 30 times 48 minutes makes 24 hours, means Ahoratra. Mas means 30 days. Rutu means 2 Mas makes 1 Rutu. two means there are 6 rutus are there. So what we consider here is a fall, spring, summer, and winter. But according to Jainism, there are 6 parts are there. 3 rutu makes 1 ayan, and 1 versus 2 ayan. So this way it keeps on going a bit deeper and deeper into it. And now from 1 year onward, we can go to the macroscopic time. How big is a time substance? How big is a time units? And it is so large that as we had a question and inability to understand one samay, similarly, we'll have also inability to understand the infinite samay in future time that we have it, or past time that we pass by. So it gives enormity of my existence. Time is up right now, so we won't be able to go detail in those things, but we'll continue that one, and we'll be going a lot more detail in those things that are how macroscopic time appears to be. And I think I have some slides, some funny slides that we may also probably put it next time. So it gives microscopic and macroscopic board. It's really eye opener, you know. So we'll do that next time. Any questions so far?
Uncle?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you going to talk more later? Are you doing conventional time now and you'll talk about absolute time later? Is that what you're doing?
Absolute time means time substance sitting in that space point. That's absolute time, period. It doesn't do anything. It's simply sitting there forever. And so, for example, this is a space point and this is time substance. It's just sitting that way. That's it. That's absolute time. It doesn't do anything. Remains forever, stationary, unmovable, nothing. That's absolute time. What we are talking all this time is Samay, Rutu, Nimesh, and Varsh and everything, year and everything, they are the conventional time we are talking.
So then with absolute time, it has modifications, or the modifications is conventional time?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Remember, from absolute perspective, I'm the eternal, unmovable, non-doer soul substance. But within me, the modifications occurring as a result are the anger, deceit, ego, greed, or I could be my innate state. All those things are transitory modification, and they are called conventional perspective. So same way here, what we are talking time units as a Samay and Nimesh and Gadi and Rutu and all those things, they are the conventional time, means the modification of the absolute time. Absolute time is sitting just like that, doesn't do anything, that's it. And from there, all this conventional time comes out and they do all this thing that we are seeing over here right now.
Okay, thank you. I missed part. I got it now. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So we'll do the closing, okay? Unless there is another questions or anything there right now.
Are we going to talk about ayan next time? What does ayan?
Ayan is 3 rutu makes 1 ayan.
Oh.
Yeah, rutu means 2 months. 2 months.
Okay.
Two months make that one. So ayan means 3 rutu. So 6 months is called 1 ayan. And versus 2 ayan. Okay. जावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लोकालोक, सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ नौ बार नमो का मंत्र। Jai Jain.
Gajendra Chami.
Next week, the Paryushan is starting. So I think everybody is going to be tied up. And I also have to conduct the classes in the evening at a Jain center. So do we postpone for 2 weeks? Because
So,
you
two-
guys will have to, you guys also will be tied up in your own Jain center, right?
you're doing Stanakasi and Digambar both?
Yeah, she's doing good. Yeah, I have to because I'll be conducting here for first 8 days, and then another 10 days also, so 18 days. If you want, if we want to continue, then
Move the time.
yeah, we may have to move the time. So unless if it's, see how everything, how is convenient to everybody, and let me know. And we may have to go probably because I'll have to go to temple by 7:30. So if we finish by 6, that may work good. 6 my time. Right now it's a 6:40. Right now. So instead of 8:30, we are meeting right now Eastern time 8:30, 9:30. Instead of that, can we meet at 8, between 8 and 9? Or if not, then we can postpone for 2 weeks. Let me write down the email to me, those who are interested in attending everything.
For me, 8 to 9 is fine. I can tell you now.
Okay, all right.
I am then can be traveling from 6 to 18 myself.
Uh-huh.
So, but I will. I am in Far East. I will still attend. But 8 to 9 for me is okay.
Kiritaka, whatever works for you, I will try and adjust to do it.
Okay, so that way, we don't, I don't mind. I mean, if you want to take a break, it's okay. If not, then we'll work it out, and I don't have to worry about it. I'll manage my time here too.
Continue.